Hi, hello, and welcome back to the Paddock. Today we are talking all things Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. On today's episode, we have Ito, Amy, and myself, Hannah. Let's go ahead and get started and kick it off to Amy.
Hi, yep, y'all guessed it. I am back at it again with more track updates. 2025 has been just like every circuit has something that they're tweaking, which, like, I guess I get it, but I'm back with some more. For Saudi, the entry and exit white lines are now highlighted in blue. The safety car lines are also now highlighted in blue. There is now a blue line behind the white line at the apex of turns 2, 5, 8, 9, 14, and 17. And there is now, yep, you guessed it, a blue line behind the white lines at the exit of turns 8, 19, and 23. Now, while we don't have a ton of pre-race shenanigans to talk about, I cannot let this race recap go by and not at least touch on the fact that, thank you, Vroom Gods, the F1 Academy girlies are back. And I was so excited to watch the race this weekend, so I just kind of gave you guys a little recap of the two races the girls had this weekend. Race 1, your starting top 5 was Emma Flabermeyer, Ella Lloyd, Tina Huseman, Alba Larson, and Alicia Palmowski. Your race 1 top 3 at the end of the race, for the first time ever in F1 Academy, it was a win for Ella Lloyd, marking McLaren's first ever podium in Jeddah. In P2, we had Maya Woog, and in P3, we had Alicia Palmowski. Now, for race 2, your top 5 starting the race was Chloe Chambers, Dorian Pin, Maya Woog, and Alicia Pomowski, and Alba Larson rounding us out in 5th. The end of race 2, your top 3 was in P1, Maya Woog, P2, Chloe Chambers, and P3 was Dorian Pin. Sadly, going into this weekend, we had no new helmets for F1, which I hate because I am a sucker for a new helmet or a fancy livery, but we actually had a repeat helmet. And I personally really love that because I love a rewear moment. I think it's really fun, and Lando Norris brought the dark mode glitter helmet from last weekend in to Saudi, and I loved that he did it because, one, there's glitter involved, so like duh, I'm automatically going to love it, but 2, it's a nice race, so it was kind of perfect to bring a helmet with some glitter because it pops. And I just love that he didn't just make it a one race only kind of thing. That helmet definitely deserved a little bit of a moment.
Amen. Plus, it gave us another occasion to enjoy that specific helmet. Plus, also sustainability. No, go off, okay? But anyway, let's talk FP1. Well, there wasn't that much going on, but there was a red flag after 18 minutes due to a dislodged 50-meter board at turn 1. So that was the most exciting part, in my opinion. And your top 3 were Pierre, Lando, and Charles.
I just want to say before I say what the top 3 was, I was quite surprised by the pace for the McLarens in FP2. Lando had fastest lap for practice. The session at first experienced a delay due to safety concerns. Still can't quite remember what happens. I don't even remember if they really said what kind of happens. Stake driver, Sauber driver, Gabriel Bortoletto did not participate due to a fuel leak. The session was interrupted though by a red flag in the final minutes due to a Yuki Tsunoda crash. Why? My man deserved better.
Honestly, that crash from Yuki really, really hurt my soul. I We all love Yuki on this podcast. We all want to see Yuki thrive. But, like, that crash really hurt my soul in a way I didn't know was possible.
Truly. It was not what I was hoping for him for the weekend, especially being so fresh at Red Bull since the switch. But your top three was Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen.
I will say, I really, really, really want to know what the heck they changed with Pierre Gasly's car, because so far this weekend, he really just kind of like looked like he was on. I don't know how else to explain it other than he was just like really on. Like he had it together. He just looked so confident, and I really, really need to know what the heck they did. Obviously, in my mind, the automatic response is there was pixie dust involved because duh. But like, what did you guys do? Alpine, please keep doing that because it worked. So yeah, thanks.
It definitely was either pixie dust or it was, dare I say, the Flavio Briatore fear effect. Dare I say? Just saying. Sorry, Flavio. Your top, but it still wasn't enough for Pierre to end up in the top three. So your top three were Lando, Oscar, and George.
Now we move on to quali. So we're going to just go straight into it because I don't waste any time here. So your Q1 eliminations were Gabriel Bortoleto in 20, Esteban Ocon in 19th, Nico Hülkenberg in 18th, Jack Doohan in 17th, and Lance Stroll in 16th. I just want to say, is Lance either under pressure or over pressured? Because there's just no happy medium. And I'll let Amy talk about this. But literally, what the heck? Is it Adrian Newey? The world may never know. But like, I don't know if we need to see a change or to what.
But like, really though, what is going on in the house of Strolovich? Because I don't understand. I really don't know what is going on with Lance. He has such a special place in my heart. I have such a soft spot for him. But like, he started the season with points in the first two races, and now it's just like he's lost in the shuffle. Like, the fact that this man now holds the one record that no driver ever wants to hold, or one of the records you never want to hold, which is the most eliminated driver in Q1, like, in history. That is the one record one of the, like, few F1 records that no one ever wants to have. And that's gotta hurt. That's gotta suck. My heart breaks for him that, like, they said that live on broadcast and I stopped and ran it back because I thought I was delusionally hearing things. Lance, baby, what is going on?
Also, can I just point out that this isn't the first season where he started off great and then he just, dare I say, randomly fell off? Like, when he broke his hand, like, what was it now, 2 seasons ago? He was great. Like, the first 2-3 races, he was up there, everything was honky-dory, yay, perfect. And then he just kind of disappeared in the shuffle, as Amy said. What's going on? Lance, please, get it together.
One will never know what is going on with Lance Stroll. He's definitely inconsistent at best. I really hope that, like, as the car improves, that we'll see more from Lance. But the rumor mill with F1 and this man right now is not friendly. I mean, there have been rumors of Max going to Aston. And, like, they're not going to get rid of Fernando Alonso. But, like, even if they did, what, you're going to pair Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll at a team together? That's going to go great. God, the sport is chaos sometimes, people. I will say the one thing with this whole weekend is the F1 TV team was just having me in stitches, because David Coulthard had me on the floor, wheezing, bordering on choking on my coffee, with "this isn't show friends, this is show business." Sir, it was far too early for any of that.
You know when people are starting to notice that there's a problem or a trend when F1 TV decides to comment about it. And especially David during the actual physical live race. It's one thing to do like the pre-show or the after show when you're doing interviews and you're talking conspiracies and all that. It's another thing to say it during like qualifying or during the race itself. That's when you go, oh, okay. I see this.
Now, while we could theorize about what in God's name is going to go on with Aston Martin and Lance Stroll, we do need to get into Q2 a little bit. Who we lost in Q2, honestly, before I even get into who we lost in Q2, I do have to point out that Q2 saw Aston Martin back at it again with another like very mid-level performance. I don't know what's going on. I know that Adrian Newey is focused on the 2026 car, but like, you really want to tell me that this man can't give you like 45 minutes on your 2025 car to maybe make a few little upgrades? I'm hoping we see some upgrades from them soon, and like maybe there's some performance shift, but like, I don't know. Now, by the end of Q2, we lost Ollie Bierman in 15th, Isaac Hadjar in 14th, Fernando Alonso in 13th, Liam Lawson in 12th, and Alex Albon in 11th.
Before we go into Q3, I wonder a little bit if they have Adrian Newey focusing so much on the 2026 car that he's not putting or honing any changes or thought process a lot into the current car. Just a thought. The world may never know. They have not come out and physically said it. Or if they have, I have completely lived off the grid, and that's completely fine as well.
So I do think that like towards the start of the season, they said that Newey's priority was the 2026 car and focusing on that. But when they said that, it kind of, at least the way they phrased stuff, alluded to the fact that like the 2025 car was not on his radar like at all at the time being. But I'm hoping that maybe that might shift as we get more into the season. But I'm also like, you need to make those changes to your car sooner than later, because so far you've only gotten points from like one driver, and that's Lance, ironically. I know most people always assume that Fernando's going to be the one performing the best, but like currently that's not the case. So like, I just really need them to get it together, like as a whole.
Yeah, I wonder a little bit, and I can go down a rabbit hole on this, if, you know, after somebody has a very dramatic accident, sometimes they never fully recover back to their same typical racing skills. I wonder a little bit if, like, was it 2016 when he had that very, very rough accident that literally, like, all his tires had fallen off and it was, like, in shambles? I wonder if after that, I'm not saying he's not a great driver, because this man is epic and he's great. But I wonder if he lost some of that like spunk, the challenge that you still see in Lewis and you still see in some of the other drivers. But that's all I have to say. We could talk about that later. Going into Q3, so we have Lando Norris in 10th, Pierre Gasly in 9th, Yuki Tsunoda in 8th, Lewis Hamilton in 7th, Carlos Sainz, hot chili pepper, in 6th, Kimi Antonelli in 5th, Charles Leclerc in 4th, George Russell in third, Oscar Piastri in second, and with your pole sitter in first being Max Verstappen. Of course.
And dare I say that Lando was only 10th as he wasn't able to set a lap time in Q3 due to his crash. Like, I expected him to be higher up, but 10th is still good if he crashed. And fun fact, Max's pole position lap broke the lap record for the Jeddah Corniche circuit with a time of 1 minute 27.294 seconds.
Honestly, though, that return of the Max line from the F1 TV team really hits so different. I can't even lie. Now, as I mentioned, the F1 TV team was really on their game this weekend because I truly do not think I have ever expected to hear the word dingus used on a live broadcast, let alone in Formula One of all things. Like, the epitome of motorsport, and you're using dingus in a sentence. I loved it. The F1 TV team even giggled over it too, which made it even better. But I really did not have that one on my bingo card, and I think I need to revise. And I think I need to revise my bingo card for just like random F1 like funny moments from the TV team or something. I have to figure out my phrasing, but I need a square for this because I feel like there's one every race and I love it. Now, we do have to get into the meat and potatoes, which is the race. And before we get into the race coverage, I do have to say, I think we can all kind of confirm at this point that like the Louis Vuitton trophy case is just bad. It's just, it's not the move. I'm not a huge fan. I don't know why. Why was this needed, guys? It's just not it for me. But I need somebody either on the internet or in this podcast to confirm for me that I am not delusional in being the only one who stresses out like crazy during the start of a race. I love that we are back night racing, but oh my god, night race starts stress me out and I don't know why.
I mean, amen. Like, everything you just said, Amy. Like, Hanna and I were starting to nod viciously when you started saying that. And because everything can happen at a race start. Like, there's nothing to lose basically for these guys, except maybe crash out. And yeah, anyway. But it's just, oh god, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, race starts are the most exciting, but also the most nerve-wracking part of any race. Specifically, dare I say, street circuits like Jeddah, because they're just tighter. But that's just me. But this race start, we still had Max leading from pole. So not that much happened, at least in the first few seconds.
Okay, y'all are gonna hate me, because when I was shaking my head, yes, I don't agree with you, Amy. You are delusional about the Louis Vuitton suitcase that's hold the trophy. I don't like the Louis Vuitton like racing logo. I think that needs to go. But the suitcase that holds the physical trophy like on the podium, I like it. I don't know why, but it gives like expensive, I don't know, and it's speaks Formula One, but like the LV banners, I'm not for. The like little like race, they just need to change the color concept, I think, a little bit there. It's a little like in your face blinding. And I love night races. I think they're my favorite races of the year. other than like the few day races that I go to. But I mean, I've dreamed of going to Singapore and experiencing the night race there. Like, that's like the ultimate dream for me. That and probably Abu Dhabi, which, by the way, you might see that this year from me, because this girl's always traveling. If you haven't met me, now you know. But back to the race. On corner 2 of lap 1, Oscar was slightly ahead with the lead when Max and Oscar had a bit of an opening corner tit for tat battle where Max took an advantage by going off track to overtake, which was later given a 5-second penalty. Come on, Max. You could have just given that spot back and it would have been bada bing, bada boom, done. As soon as the other stuff happens.
So I 120% agree with Hannah. The LV banners are horrid. They drive me crazy. I don't know what it is about those Louis friggin' banners on the track, but they're an eyesore. I can't do them. I really can't. I will say the start of this race was one of my favorites because Oscar just had a really good start, and I more recently have really found myself heavily rooting for Oscar. If you know me as a person, you know that like my Aussies in F1 have a very special place in my heart, and apparently Oscar has like just taken over. So I loved that start. That made my heart real happy.
On the note of the banners, though, bring back the Barilla banner from last week. Like, just bring it back. We don't need the LB banner. Just go. But anyway, just my 5 cents. But Oscar in second, beginning to challenge Max for the lead. Yes, please, King. Yes, please, please, please. But then there was also the first corner incident involving Yuki and Pierre that led to them both retiring early. Oh my god. Oh my god, Kings. No, not Yuki Air. Of course, it also brought out a safety car.
Was super sad to see that. Luckily, both drivers are safe and no action followed post the race. And even in their post-race interviews, they were very like cordial. Like, I don't think he had anything against me. I think it just happened. And I'm like, that, I respect that because you don't see that very often. And for me, I was like, oh, bless. Cool. First time for everything.
So I had to watch the race after it was done. And I normally despise doing that, but it's a holiday weekend, so I legitimately had no choice. And guys, when I tell you I really wish you could have had a live camera on my reaction, I was trying not to shout because I was watching this race at 10:30 at night on a Sunday, and my neighbors have children, so like I can't be loud. I lost my mind with that crash. My heart broke into a million little pieces.
Now you know what it's like living in a country where after 10 p.m. you have to be as quiet as a mouse. Like, you're not even allowed to shower. And watching F1 races at that time of night, not for the week. Anyway, safety car period ended and racing resumed with Max still keeping the lead. Oscar in second, still challenging Max. And I'm here for it.
We had a sassy Alex Albon sighting around lap 11 or so. And I quote, "Guys, do you not see there's a car right behind me as well? Or are we not thinking about that?" Sir, I'm going to need you to rein it in a little bit. I mean, I love it. I love sassy Alex, but goodness.
I am living for sassy Alex coming out more on the radios. We definitely need more of that. I don't think we've seen that in years past. And he typically comes off as this like shy, like reserved type of person. And then you get his radios, you're like, what is going on in that House of Commons with Alex? Like, give me more. Please. F1 TV, you've been holding out on us for too long.
It almost feels like when he has a teammate that challenges him, like on track, he gets more sassy. It almost feels like that. But let's get back to the race, because there was a strategic pit stop by McLaren, which allowed Oscar to undercut Max and temporarily, very temporarily, gain the lead.
I really need like F1 TV to make like weekly roundups of like all of the radio messages from the race. Like, okay, race happens on Sunday. Like, drop it on a Wednesday of just like all the radio messages. Just give me a compilation. It doesn't need to be something fancy, but like there's one in particular that I really need to hear like the actual audio of. And that is "My Tires Are Toast" from George William Russell. Because I really wish I could have been able to hear that one with his really posh British accent, because I would have been absolutely cackling.
I mean, his radio messages in general are just memeable, laughable, whatever you want. But, as I mentioned, Oscar gained the lead for a hot second, but of course, Max rejoined the track ahead of Oscar after he pitted himself, retaking that lead. And then, of course, we had Charles running in third, and he began to close the gap to the two, and I was here for it.
I do have to say that I think everybody, Ferrari fans in particular, need to thank the F1 gods that Lewis Hamilton has not had to deal with any trash Ferrari pit stops. Knocking on wood. Because I truly do not think that that man could handle dealing with that while also getting up to speed with a new car. I, yet again, am coming to you with some killer quotes from the F1 TV team, because this crew just constantly has me laughing. Because we went from, this is Liam Lawson moving up to 15th place, to, and Bortoleto nearly gets clipped by the man a part of his management team. I was dying. Fernando Alonso and Gabriel Bortoleto's contact stressed me out for no reason. Nando also hit us with a little bois radio message a la Kimi Räikkönen, and it just brought me so much joy. This race really just kind of was just too much for my heart to handle at so many moments, but I do have to say, around like lap 30-ish of this race, I really think that secured for me that Isaac Hadjar has truly become my favorite Frenchman. And like, it makes so much sense because Isaac.
I just want to add something real quick. I would love to have a conversation with him in French. Like, please. Like, please, can I meet this man? Like, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Oh, please. Please. Life would be made. He's so sweet. He's so cute.
So sweet, yet I feel like so chaotic. Then again, all the rookies are chaotic. But a second round of pit stops saw Oscar coming out ahead of Max again, thanks to a quicker pit stop because they pitted around the same time, and he was just more effective in tire management. And honestly, good for Oscar, good for McLaren. And despite Max's 5-second penalty from earlier, or really because of it, Max just pushed and pushed and pushed because he attempted to close the gap to Oscar again, because, oh Lord, we know Max hates a penalty and also hates giving a place back. But that's it. That's for a different time.
Oscar really was just kind of like chilling at the front, and dealing with whatever that flashing red light was that was bugging him in the distance, that would have probably irritated the hell out of me.
I also wonder if that was like a balcony trying to like play tricks on the drivers on the track just because they could and they lived that close. I mean, can't really do anything about it. But I think after a good strategy by McLaren, they were able to keep Oscar in the front row. Though I won't lie, his driving this season has been impeccable and has become like this force to be reckoned with. I wonder if we might start to see McLaren favor Oscar more than Lando. Dare I say, who knows? Time will tell. But I mean, he has been the only one who has won multiple races so far this season. So, like,
we had some, quote, synchronized swimming from the Williams boys. Honestly, sometimes our sport is just so dang unserious, guys.
So damn unserious. But on a serious note, Charles is now up in third and is under pressure from Lando because just because Oscar is out front enjoying the drive, Lando still has some work to do, as he made significant progress already, working himself up from 10th through the top 10.
David Coulthard gave us a fantastic gem of the old truck and trailer with the Williams boys. I can't. This team is iconic. The one-liners are fantastic. Williams, I mean, keep doing what you're doing. If it's working, let it work. Carlos Sainz is a strategist from the cockpit, and we love to see it.
And then Lando Norris finished fourth and was able to record the fastest lap of the race despite his quali crash in starting in P10. I will say, despite all the little and lot of chaos we got this race, I was surprised and happy for the man.
And his teammate Oscar crossed the line first, securing his third victory of the season with Max very close behind him after serving his penalty, and of course Charles rounding out the podium.
And like Ito mentioned, Oscar Piastri took home first with Max Verstappen in second and Charles Leclerc in third. Also meaning Ferrari and Charles' first podium/trophy of the season. Also a note, Oscar's victory makes him the first Australian to lead the championship since Mark Webber in 2010. McLaren now leads the Constructors' Championship, extending their advantage over Mercedes. What a way to start the season, guys. It's been insane.
So insane. But honestly, when I heard the stat about Mark being the last Aussie to lead, I had to do a double take. Because for a hot second, I thought Danny Rick also led it at some point, but I guess not. Which just goes to show what amazing drivers Australia has brought forth lately. But it's, as Hanna said, it's fitting that Oscar's now leading after Mark was the last one to lead. And dare I say, karma's at play. Just karma.
The universe always has a plan. Fate is always at play. Invisible string theory is a thing. Your woo-woo bestie here. Yeah, no. Universe definitely has a plan. I friggin' love that Oscar is leading the driver standings. It brings me so much joy, especially because Mark is his mentor, on top of the fact that Mark was the last person to have that standing as well. Like, the universe has always got a plan. Dare I say Oscar Piastri WDC 2025? Don't come for my throat, people. It's just my opinion.
Where's the petition to make this happen? Like, y'all, this needs to happen. Then again, I now fear that McLaren will bring out team orders more, as it does seem they favor Lando overall. Don't come for my throat. Please, please, please. Fingers crossed I'm wrong on this, though. Fingers crossed.
By the end of the race, your driver of the day was Max Verstappen. Fastest lap went to Oscar Piastri with a time of 1:21:06. But, like, guys, for a hot sec, post-race, not even, like, pre-interview, post-interview, all of it, the cameraman on the camera crew, who on the camera crew and or who in F1 TV or F1 broadcasting was in charge of making sure that somebody on crew was getting every single one of Charles Leclerc's good angles. I just know that the CL16 girlies were dying and loving this. But, like, that cameraman was working overtime. Oh my God, what was that?
You could tell Charles was a bit uncomfortable by it, though. While he was drinking the water, it kind of looked like he was just like, hi. And I know that that's just what all the fangirls wanted, probably.
It was definitely what the girls, this one included, wanted. I must agree, it did feel a bit awkward. Especially based on Charles's reactions to it, because he usually plays to the camera. This time, not so much.
I just really want to see, like, the other point of view, because I want to see how close that cameraman actually was. Because if he was as close as I think he was, that makes it even more awkward when I think about it.
On another note, I died laughing at the, like, end when they're in the, like, chill room, and Max is just over in his corner just chilling, only adding in when he felt like he wanted to or needed, but other than that he was just like, let me be.
Also, on awkward topics, on the topic of flights home, I wonder how Alex's was on Max's jet. I so hope we get some snippets on the next Team Torque episode, because I remember him mentioning it on last Team Torque that he was going to fly with Max. We need a debrief, Alex, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it was also mentioned in the post-race interviews about it. But also, I was a bit worried for Kimi. He looked sickish after the race due to the heat. And there were videos of his dad, like, kind of holding him up as they were walking the paddock. And you couldn't help but just, like, worry about him and what the other drivers are going through.
I feel like we heard quite a few different drivers mention the heat and not really feeling great post-race. I really hope that, like, all of the boys and all of the team crew members and just everybody involved with F1, like, takes the time between the next race, like, between races to, like, rest up, because Lord knows that triple headers have got to be hard on the body.
So hard, especially triple headers in such different climates. Like, the up and down, insane. Because that's all I thought about when I saw the footage of Kimi, and also heard the other drivers complain about the heat. I was just like, guys, you're not ready for Singapore or Qatar. But it moreover goes to show that the FIA needs to do something about all of this. At least this season, they have the optional cooling fireproofs, which if I recall correctly, will become mandatory in 2026. It's like the white fireproofs that some of them have been wearing. And I really do hope they help, and that the FIA and F1 in general bring more such upgrades and protections.
I will say I'm surprised that we didn't see more of those cooling vests that some drivers wear during hotter races. All I do know is that post-race ice bath must have felt so friggin' good.
I mean, probably even some of the people who just went to the race would be like, can I please have an ice bath? It looked like scorching hot there. Also, Carlos not getting Also, Carlos getting stuck in his car and Sauber/Stake having to help him get out. Crazy that the onboard was even released for us to see. And then second, that it happens. Like, what? Insanity. But guys, that's it for us talking about Saudi Arabia. So now we're going to predict the next race. One of my favorite, Miami. Welcome to Miami.
Yes. Prediction time. My dice is out. So let's get straight to it. P1 goes to Carlos. P2 will be Esteban, and P3 will go to George. Can someone say underdogs on top? While I would love to see that podium, it probably won't happen, dare I say, except maybe George. Though after that whole Carlos getting stuck in his car and needing help from Stake Sauber, thanks guys for lending a hand. I would love for him to win, but I don't see it happening. Sorry, he's still in the Williams.
Now, normally I would pull up my pendulum, but this round I just kind of went with vibes. So, like, please take my predictions with a grain of salt and honestly, maybe even a shot of tequila, seeing as it is Miami. Granted, that is for those who are of legal drinking age, please. If you are under the age of 21, please, no tequila should be involved. But my predictions are as follow. This is simply going with vibes here. P1, we have Oscar Piastri. P2, we have Kimi Antonelli, and rounding us out in P3, I have Pierre Gasly. Again, I'm going off of vibes here.
Now, I don't want to be outrageous here on my predictions because I don't want to jinx myself. And that happens to me. And since I'll be there in Miami for the race, even more so. But, caveat, I would love a McLaren podium with Lando and Oscar and either Lewis or Charles. If I had to pick, Lando first, Oscar second, Lewis third, just because I feel like that man deserves it. But I really don't care what order. Just be up there, please, because I love McLaren and I love Ferrari. Though, Isaac Hadjar, I feel like if there's a rookie he's going to get it this year, it's either going to be him or Kimi, and I would not be opposed to celebrating them. I would go ham.
And to close out the episode, we have a driver of the week. And ironically, or unironically, Hanna and I seem to be on the same wavelength. Our driver of the week is Isaac Hadjar, who was in the points yet again. Isaac, we love you. I feel like all of F1 is just slowly falling in love with Isaac Hadjar, and I don't blame them, to be honest. Thank you for joining us in the paddock this week. That's a wrap on our Saudi GP recap. What a race, y'all. Next week, we are switching lanes and diving into something a little different. F1 romance books. If you know us, you know we have a lot of book girlies here in PGP, and we will be talking all things Slipstream by Madge Merrill that came out on May 20th. Think fast cars, fierce rivalries, and all the enemies to lovers tension that we live for. Make sure to follow us on socials. Everywhere we are Paddock Girls Podcast, except for Twitter and Blue Sky, where we are Paddock Girls Pod. Consider this your reminder to make sure that you are following us wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't forget to drop us a review. We will see you on the next lap. Okay, bye.
See ya.
See you later. Thanks. But now I can finish it. Welcome to Miami, Mamma Mia, Miami. That song's gonna be on repeat.